Imagine going for a morning jog, unaware that your life is about to be violently torn apart. This is what happened to 22-year-old Lachlan Riley, whose tragic death sparked a nationwide debate on immigration and public safety. But here's the twist. The man behind this brutal crime, Jose Antonio Ibarra roommate, testified during his trial that they went to the Roosevelt Hotel together in September 2023 and received a taxpayer-funded flight to Georgia. The Roosevelt Hotel in New York City, a place now at the heart of the immigration crisis. It's here, in this iconic hotel repurposed as a migrant shelter, that a hidden connection unfolds. And it raises the question, what happens when public safety and immigration policy collide? But the story of the Roosevelt Hotel goes much deeper than you might think. While we know it was transformed into a shelter for migrants in 2023, the surrounding area has become a hotspot for a range of serious issues. Illegal brothels, unlicensed vendors, and unsafe streets plague Roosevelt Avenue, creating a tense environment for locals. In fact, many residents report feeling unsafe, with children hesitant to even walk outside. But that's not all. Human trafficking, particularly sex trafficking, has been a major concern for local authorities, with the NYPD tackling some of the most heinous crimes in this very area. To make matters worse, the Roosevelt Hotel itself has become overcrowded, stretching the city's already strained shelter system to its breaking point. People have even been forced to sleep on the streets outside, adding to the tension in the community. And while the hotel is meant to provide shelter, complaints about drug use, noise, and safety concerns have emerged from nearby residents, creating a complex and dangerous situation. But here's where it gets even more alarming. Your tax dollars are funding this. Every year, billions of dollars go toward accommodating undocumented migrants, covering everything from food and shelter to free flights across the country. Whether it's the migrants staying at the Roosevelt Hotel or those being relocated to different cities, your hard-earned money is being used to foot the bill for these services, while local communities are left to deal with the consequences.
¿Y ustedes ahora mismo están viviendo aquí en el Roosevelt Hotel?
Sí, sí.
¿Y ustedes están recibiendo comida?
Sí.
¿Reciben comida?
Claro, comida, dan desayuno, almuerzo y cena.
Desayuno, almuerzo y cena.
Yes. Las habitaciones son cómodas.
¿Y cuánto tiempo lleva aquí en los Estados?
7 meses.
7 meses.
Sí.
¿Y por cuánto tiempo ha estado aquí?
7 meses.
Usted ha estado ahí por 7 meses quedándose.
Sí.
Y es gratis, ¿cierto?
Pues sí, la ayuda del gobierno, de aquí del gobierno de Nueva York.
So sit back, because by the end of this video, you'll uncover not only the hidden truths of the Roosevelt Hotel, but also the larger implications of immigration policies on public safety, quality of life, and your own taxes. To truly understand how the Roosevelt Hotel got to where it is today, we need to take a step back, way back to its roots. So, let's rewind time to the golden age of New York City. Opened in 1924, this iconic landmark was once the epitome of luxury and grandeur. Designed in the Italian Renaissance Revival style, it stood as a symbol of opulence with its 1,025 rooms, grand architecture, and innovative features like in-house physicians and a Turkish bath. The Roosevelt was more than just a hotel. It was a hotspot for the elite, a place where Guy Lombardo made history by broadcasting the tradition of Auld Lang Syne on New Year's Eve. For decades, it played a central role in the city's cultural and political landscape. Can you picture the glitz and glamour that once filled its halls? But over the years, the Roosevelt's fortunes began to change, and this once glamorous landmark started to lose its shine. The hotel changed hands multiple times, from New York United Hotels Inc., a subsidiary of the United Hotels Company, to Hilton Hotels, and later, Realty Hotels. With each new owner came a new direction, but none could quite capture the grandeur it once had. Ever wondered what happens when such an iconic establishment begins to lose its legacy? Then came the pivotal moment in 2000, when the Roosevelt Hotel was acquired by Pakistan International Airlines, PIA. And this is where everything started to spiral. Once the epitome of luxury and New York City's elite, the Roosevelt Hotel's fate took a drastic turn. The big question now is, how did this once celebrated landmark, which hosted high-profile political events, end up being transformed into a migrant shelter? What caused this shift? And why did a hotel with such a rich history become the center of a national debate over immigration and public safety? Stay with me, because the story of the Roosevelt Hotel is far from over. In fact, the real story begins now. But how did this once grand hotel, a symbol of luxury, become a lifeline for thousands of illegal migrants? The answer lies in New York City's evolving response to the migrant crisis and the Roosevelt Hotel's new role within it. In May 2023, as the city grappled with an overwhelming number of illegal migrants arriving in waves, the Roosevelt Hotel was repurposed into a critical processing center for newly arrived illegal migrants. What was once a glamorous destination for political elites and A-list celebrities became a one-stop shop for people seeking safety and opportunity in the U.S. Now, the Roosevelt isn't just a hotel, it's a full-fledged support hub. Illegal migrants who arrive here receive identification wristbands, undergo health screenings, and even get vaccinated. Over 70,000 vaccinations have already been administered, all for free. They get everything they need, from food to medical assistance with no cost to them.
In 2023, the Pakistani government leased out the hotel for 3 years for $220 million to provide migrant accommodations and services. Now we wanted to discover what other things we could obtain by visiting the Roosevelt Hotel.
Hola. Hola. ¿Cómo estás? Muy bien. Bien, bien.
So I walk in, guy's like, okay, so what are you doing here? I'm like, oh, I'm looking for asylum, refugee status.
¿Tienes su documento de inmigración?
No, lo que dije al señor que perdí todo en el camino entre Texas y Nueva York, no tengo nada.
Ok, tú tienes un ID.
No tengo nada.
No tienes nada.
Nada.
Then he was talking to, I guess, a supervisor. Yeah, just go ahead and register him.
Yes, register.
First thing on the clock?
Yeah, well.
Okay. Gracias.
He filled out a little sheet, gave me a wristband. He said, do you want refuge in New York? Or do you want us to fly you to another state or another city?
O sea, un vuelo. Vuelo, por ejemplo, si tú tienes tu familia hacia otro estado en el país, podemos comprar el boleto para ir a encontrar a su familia.
Refugio está bien.
Ok,
Sí, sí.
Al momento.
And he goes, oh, well, if you have family in like another city, we'll pay for your flight. The government will pay for it.
Después, si quiero vuelo, se puede.
Tú puedes estar aquí sin
Sí.
problema, sí. Y nosotros le van a comprar el boleto.
Buenísimo.
So in a post-9/11 America, a man who claims he is from a foreign country can secure a taxpayer-funded plane ticket and receive a temporary ID.
While illegal migrants get all of this for free, genuine taxpayers are paying the price. People who've worked hard, followed the rules, and contributed to this country for years are now facing crippling house loans, skyrocketing hospital bills, burdensome student loans, and the crushing weight of inflation. Many are struggling to make ends meet, and they've been paying their taxes in good faith, hoping that the government will help them out in their time of need. But instead, their hard-earned tax dollars are going to provide free services to illegal migrants. The same taxpayers who are paying for health insurance, their children's education, and the rising costs of living are now funding free housing, free medical care, and even free flights for people who entered the country illegally. And it doesn't end there. What about the legal migrants who have waited years, sometimes decades, to legally enter the U.S.? For all the attention given to these illegal migrants, genuine legal immigrants, those coming to the U.S. for work, study, or to reunite with family, face a different reality. Many wait months or even years for their visas to be processed. Some face rejections and delays in a system that's supposed to prioritize legal entry. Imagine coming to this country the right way, only to be turned away because of bureaucracy, while illegal migrants are fast-tracked with free services, housing, and benefits. Now, anyone who's tried to come to the US legally and has faced these hurdles, or anyone who's watching this video, can understand the frustration. The system seems to favor those who enter illegally while making it nearly impossible for those following the law to gain entry. And this isn't just a small issue. This is about real people, real lives, and the resources that are being stretched thin. Your tax money is funding the accommodation, the food, and even flights for these illegal migrants, while countless others wait in line for their chance to enter legally. The city is under immense pressure to house and support these illegal migrants in a sustainable way. And while the Roosevelt Hotel provides temporary shelter, the city has imposed a 60-day limit on stays for families. After that, they must reapply for another 60-day period. But with the demand for shelter rising, the reality is clear. There aren't enough resources to go around. And those resources? They're being paid for by you, the taxpayer. The real question now is, what happens when the costs keep growing and the space keeps shrinking? What's the long-term impact of turning iconic landmarks like the Roosevelt Hotel into emergency shelters? And when will the system address the growing frustration of people who are playing by the rules, only to watch as the system bends for those who aren't? While the Roosevelt Hotel itself has become the center of a heated debate, it's not just the hotel's transformation that's causing concern. The surrounding neighborhood has been grappling with multiple issues, and things are only getting worse. How would you feel if your neighborhood became a hotspot for crime? Reports of illegal activities around Roosevelt Avenue are becoming more frequent, with unlicensed vendors, illegal brothels, and unregistered mopeds taking over the area. Local residents are now feeling unsafe in their own homes, with many reporting that children are afraid to even walk outside. It's a place that was once buzzing with activity, but now it's increasingly dangerous, a far cry from the safe community it used to be. But that's not where the story ends. Perhaps most alarming is the rise in human trafficking, especially sex trafficking in the area. Local authorities have raised serious concerns about the number of victims being exploited, and this is happening right in the shadows of the Roosevelt Hotel. But here's the twist. While the hotel is meant to be a shelter for those in need, it seems to have become a refuge for more sinister activities. Gangs are reportedly taking shelter in and around the area, adding a dangerous layer to the already complex situation. On top of that, overcrowding at the hotel has become a significant problem. Migrants are being housed under conditions that are putting immense strain on resources, while nearby residents are left to deal with the fallout. Complaints of drug use, noise disturbances, and safety concerns continue to flood in from the surrounding areas. The impact of these challenges is felt not just by the migrants, but by everyone in the vicinity. How far is too far when it comes to politics? As we dive deeper into this situation, it becomes clear that the government's decisions, driven by political agendas, are putting its citizens' safety and well-being at risk. For the sake of political optics, city officials have repurposed the Roosevelt Hotel as a shelter for illegal migrants, without fully considering the repercussions for the people who live in the area. What does this mean for you? You've worked hard, paid your taxes, and followed the rules, yet you're left to deal with the consequences of a government more focused on political gain than protecting its own citizens. Imagine living in a neighborhood where crime is rampant, where you can't even send your kids outside to play without fear. This is the reality for many people who live near the Roosevelt Hotel. Residents are bearing the brunt of overcrowding, gang activity, human trafficking, and a rise in drug-related issues, all in the name of political decisions that prioritize international guests over the safety of the taxpayers funding it all. Where's the accountability? The government's willingness to push political agendas, regardless of the cost, has left its citizens to pick up the pieces. The reality is that your tax money is being funneled into a system that not only supports illegal migrants, but creates chaos in your own backyard. While people who come legally to the U.S. face hardships and are denied resources, those who break the law are given free housing, food, healthcare, and transportation. All paid for by the very citizens who are struggling with crippling house loans, hospital bills, student debt, and the skyrocketing costs of living. Are your needs less important than those of others? In a system like this, it feels like the government is choosing to sacrifice your security, your family's peace of mind, and your future for political points. The issue is larger than just a hotel. It's a glaring example of how government policies aimed at placating political pressure are undermining the safety and livelihood of everyday citizens. The question is, how much longer will this go on before it becomes too much to bear? For those who are concerned about the growing issues surrounding illegal immigration, like the chaos around the Roosevelt Hotel, there might be a light at the end of the tunnel. Former President Donald Trump, in his 2024 campaign, has promised a series of aggressive measures aimed at tackling illegal immigration head-on. What exactly is Trump promising? Mass deportations. He vows to launch the largest domestic deportation operation in American history, targeting millions of illegal immigrants. Ending birthright citizenship. Trump plans to sign an executive order to end automatic citizenship for children born to non-citizens on U.S. soil. Reinstating travel bans. He intends to restore and expand travel bans on individuals from certain countries. Enhanced border security. A completed border wall and more advanced technological surveillance to secure the U.S. border. Ending catch and release. Trump aims to detain all illegal immigrants caught at the border until they can be deported. Donald Trump has appointed Tom Homan, his former director of ICE, as his border czar. Homan's new role will focus on managing the nation's borders, including the southern and northern borders, maritime security, and aviation. Trump expressed confidence in Homan's ability to handle the country's border security, especially in light of his past experience and commitment to stringent enforcement measures. In a recent Fox News interview, Homan outlined Trump's plans for immigration control, including a large-scale deportation operation aimed at removing millions of illegal immigrants, particularly those with criminal backgrounds. This operation, which Trump claims will be the largest in U.S. history, is designed to restore order and security by targeting public safety threats first. Homan stressed that while the operation would be humane, it is necessary to curb illegal immigration and protect U.S. citizens. These measures, presented as solutions, have become a beacon of hope for many who feel their communities are under siege by the effects of illegal immigration. Trump argues that his policies would reduce the strain on public resources, restore public safety, and stop the illegal flow of migrants, directly addressing the concerns surrounding the Roosevelt Hotel. But the question remains, can these measures truly solve the problems, or will they lead to further division and legal challenges? Critics argue that these policies may not address the root causes of migration, nor may they be legally sustainable. The debate continues, but for many, Trump's tough stance on immigration offers a hopeful vision of the future, one where public safety and taxpayer interests are put first. The question remains, will these policies truly bring about the change we need, or will the struggle continue? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, the debate over immigration and public safety is far from over. As we continue to see government spending directed toward accommodating illegal migrants, it's crucial to understand that something else is quietly but steadily making you poorer. While attention is focused on policies that may not directly benefit you, this hidden threat is slipping under the radar, and it's impacting your financial future. If you found this video eye-opening, don't forget to subscribe, share it with your family and friends to spread awareness, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Click the video on your screen to uncover how climate change is steadily affecting your finances, a topic that isn't getting the attention it deserves.